which we experience, and through our conditioning, that we are, this body is our home for now, and that we are a person living in the body, along with all the conditioning that stands with the person, leaves little room for such a profound experience to find space to be grounded in that, because the personal sense tends to be a very reactive and resisting energy, But something is peeping through. It's not coming from outside, actually. It's coming from inside. So perhaps when you say in nature, when you are not so much surrounded by the familiar movements of familiar environment, and something inside gives permission to just relax, and then in a sense, the deeper, the depth, from the depth of yourself, it rises up, you see, more peace and stillness and clarity and calm mind. You find you did not practice for that. It's simply arising much more easy and finding space in moments and situations, perhaps environment like that, for the moment, because we perceive an external world, and how do I make my way in this network of this labyrinth of life and all the things that are presented to your attention and mind to get engaged with. And this is a habit and a very familiar interacting. So that seems to take precedence somehow. And then it feels like the recognition and the space needed to allow a deeper truth to arise seems to get eclipsed by the familiar habits, you see. But don't be discouraged by that, because actually the world of the person and the mind is not really as deep as you think. It's quite shallow, and actually in it, when you give attention to it, it takes on a certain strength. But very soon, actually, you see that it is without real depth. And you see, for instance, how what you say yesterday, at this time you may have experienced so much, and with friends or whatever it is, whatever your experience was real in that moment. And what your taste you're experiencing, and it's gone. Everything is gone. If it were not for memory, you would not retain anything of it. You see? And that gives a sense of continuity, or reality to our experiencing, you see. But there's something deeper than this, underneath this. The person sense seems to be at the forefront of your existence. But I call this, and I've come to see that that's more like a mask in front of the real you. But this real you, I wouldn't call it the body. The body is also in front of it. Feelings are also in front of it. Even memory is in front of it. Even the act of perceiving is in front of it, actually. It perceives all things, but yet itself seems to evade detection, you see. That is the real thing. But again, back to what you wrote, my struggle is that I can't seem to bring the stillness or sustain it when I'm functioning in the external world. So you are attracted to the stillness. You have recognized, you have tasted it, and it's a very natural taste for you. You want to be more in that stillness. Of course, you'd want it permanently, wouldn't you? You see? Yes. And when you discover the real stillness, that it doesn't come and go. It doesn't come and go anyway. It's just that your attention and mind goes back to pick up things in familiar settings, and so it appears as though the stillness have gone away. It is still here, but something goes in front, and that becomes the center of attention. You see, like that. When you are in your silence, you may come to a certain point where, the sense of external and internal may just vanish for you. I want to tell you something. As long as there's a struggle to recognize the truth and the true self, okay, then it will seem like there's a conflict between the peace, the joy, the naturalness of the self, and the necessary effort to finish your doctorship and to all the effort that's needed and required to complete your studies and everything. It seems like they're pulling in in opposite ways, but only initially and only due to our conditioning and the way that the mind interprets things, which is not accurately, I've got to say. But what I would say also, there is no real conflict actually. When you need to study, study for now. Don't imagine, oh, I have to balance the two. No, when you study, you study. If that's also a big attraction for you at the moment, you continue. But also when you have time, you put that time also in your inner research. One is an outer research, one is more inner research. Okay? And for that, I can give you a simple exercise also. And that is you start just with the natural sense of being. That's a very natural thing, you know, that before you make one single effort at all, you know that you are. That's an intuition nobody taught you. You naturally know that you exist. That feeling of existence is there before you start to add stories and other things to it. The basic intuitive way of knowing that you are simply this basic fundamental feeling. Just I am. That feeling, if you don't associate it with any concept or story or history or desire, just keep it to itself like this. Can you follow this?
I can, yes.
Yeah, yes. So just you don't hold on to any thought or any intention to do something special or anything. Just for a moment, hold on to nothing at all. And you'll find that by holding on to nothing at all, yourself is still here. You don't have to hold on to yourself. The self is still here. But don't associate any history to that sense of self. Just the sense of being. And learn to stay with this without allowing it to connect up with any thought stream, thought flow, or past or future projections or desires. And you can do this, if you can do this for like 5 minutes, just 5 minutes at a time, it will build up to a state where it becomes very natural for you to be self-aware without being combined with other things. And that's very good because it increases the power of self-awareness in you and creates some distance between yourself and the things that you perceive. And that is very good. And so it's not a strenuous thing to practice, but in the beginning you might find that the mind tries very hard to put you off this kind of focus. So I will not tell you just to ignore your studies or nothing. Let that carry on. But whenever you have some spare time, remember what I'm telling you. Just start with this, just a simple sense of being, and don't develop any story around it at all. Okay? Just like that. And be one with it. Just be that. Be one with that. And then you'll see the mind coming in to suggest some things. And so in the beginning, you might get distracted for a while, but don't be hard on yourself. It will feel fresh for you, but you keep on, just try that, and it will get quickly. You'll develop some natural recognition and a sense of inner spaciousness. And this inner spaciousness is very important. That is the seed, and that will continue to expand the inner sense of spaciousness. And any idea that that's going against your studies is not true at all. In fact, you may even be able to study more efficiently without stress or strain or conflict. But when you are study. When you sit in your self-contemplation, be with that, and you'll find that somehow the power of self-contemplation will somehow begin to pervade your studying, And so that whatever you're doing, not just your studying, but whatever movements are happening in your life, they'll seem to be happening inside your stillness and spaciousness. Is it possible to remain peaceful, still, live a spiritual life, and still play your part fully in the busyness of and the chaos of the external world without retreating? So even what may seem like a demanding and chaotic field, the external world, may also get transformed in the way that you perceive and experience it, starting from your own central self recognition. So we can start like that, and I hope that you will see quite a few videos that actually keep looking at this kind of point. But starting with that first, and just isolate yourself from the traffic of sensations and thoughts like that, you'll get increasingly good at this. You'll feel that you're coming into a very natural state of natural focus and inner spaciousness. You cannot overestimate or underestimate the power of this silence. It's tremendous power. Sometimes we think that when you're still, it's not. They think it's like being lazy, it's being inert, and so on. But there's so much power. All energies begin from this silence and this stillness in you.